Hi, this is Vikas Singh from Horizon. So today in this video we are going to focus on System Center Configuration Manager 2012 installation and configurations. So if you need our help to set up a System Center product for your organization, you can contact us. Our contact details is given in below description. So let's move further. So what we are going to do in this demo, so we are going to do installation for System Center Configuration Manager, which is one of the product in System Center product suite. So we are going to install it, and we are going to do some post installation configuration task also for System Center Configuration Manager 2012. So here is our demo environment. We are using two virtual machine here to give you this demo. So the first machine is Win2K12 DC01, which is our Active Directory server. We have assigned 4 GB RAM to this machine, and domain name is origin.co. So if I go here, you can see Active Directory and DNS role is reinstalled on this machine. If I go to local server, you can see Win2K12 DC01 and domain name is origin.co. So this is our Active Directory server, and our second machine is SCCM 2012 server. The name of machine is SCCM 2012, and this is running on Windows Server 2012 R2 machine. We have assigned 16 gig of RAM to this machine, and this machine is joined in my domain, which is origin.co. So here you can see the machine configurations. So what I have done on this machine, this is basically a fresh machine. We have just installed and joined this machine in domain. And if I go here in a command prompt, you can see this is origin slash sp SCCM admin account, which is having a domain account which is created in my domain. Here you can see, if I go to tools, Active Directory users and computers, it will be here on users. So SCCM admin, and we have also SCCM server, which is SCCM 2012 and server OU. So this is our infra. So let's move to step by step. So step by step config manager 2012 installation. So the first task, we need to create a system management container. Then we need to give the delegation to this container for the SCCM server. So I'm going to do this now. So how it's need to do, and go to tools, ADSI edit, and need to connect to, and we need to leave the default. It's going to connect here LDAP. So you can see it's connected, and now what we need to click here, we need to go to new object, and we need to select container and click next. And now we need to type the name, which is system management, and click next. And now we need to click on finish. Now after finish, you can see here it's created, and then we can go to Active Directory users and computer, and we need to go to advanced features, so it will enable us to view the system management. Then right click and delegation control, and then we can click next. And here we need to get the delegation control to our system management computer account. So I'm going to select the computers, type here SCCM 2012. So now you can see the machine is added. Click next, and we need to define all type of security permission here. So we need to create a custom task to delegate, and click next. And now we need to go with the next, and we have to select these permissions. So I'm going to click everything, and here we need to go to create a full control to have like all the permission, this computer having all the permission in my domain for this particular system management OU. So click next and click finish. So it's done. Now what we need to do, we need to extend the Active Directory schema for System Center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my computer. Here you can see I have mounted the SCCM 2012 installation media. So go to SMS setup, we need to go to bin, and here i386, and here we have a folder extract schema. So I'm going to run this. It will going to open a small command prompt and for few seconds, and after this we can go in C drive and we can see extend AD schema. So you can verify here we have successfully extended the AD Active Directory schema, so it's good. We are done with this, and now we can go ahead and close this all. And now we can go with the next step, which is install a pre-request roles and feature for configuration manager client 2012. So go to SCCM server. So I'm going in C drive downloads. Here you can see I have one text file which having the all roles required role and feature which is required for SCCM. You can copy it, and basically this is available on Microsoft website, so you can go there and get this script. So I'm going to open a PowerShell, run as administrator. Yes, I want to run it, and you just need to copy and paste, and you can go ahead and execute the command. So it will install all the feature which is required for System Center 2012. Like it's going to install a bits, it's going to install a IIS role, everything, and it's going to enable the, like you can say, many features in related to IIS. So we need to wait for few seconds to get the installation done for this all required role and feature for SSCM. Then we can go to next step, which is install Windows ADK for 8.1. So we need to wait for few seconds here for the installation, get the installation done for this role and features. So it's going to take few minutes, I think. So now we can see the installation is succeeded, and we can go to install a Windows ADK now. So I have mounted the Windows ADK installation media. So going to launch the ADK installation setup. So here we are, Windows Assessment and Deployment Kit for Windows 8.1. So go ahead, click next, and leave it default. I accept the license term. So we need basically three component here, which is deployment tools, Windows PE, and user state migration USMT. So selected all the things, three things which is required. Click on install, and we can go ahead to run the installation now. So it's going to take less than 1 minute. It's depend on your machine speed, how much it's fast. So it's going to install like 1 or 2 minutes. Then we can proceed with the next step, which is the SQL Server installation and configuration for SQL Server 2012. So we need to wait for a few seconds here. So almost 70% is completed. So it's done. Now we can go ahead and close this. So before moving to SQL Server 2012 installation, I would recommend to restart your machine once. So I am rebooting my SCCM server before executing the SQL Server 2012 installations. So now Control Alt Del to log in. After reboot, you can see IIS is installed, which we have installed by the script from PowerShell. So now we can move to SQL Server installation. So I have mounted the SQL Server installation media, my CD drive. So double click on it to launch the installation. It will take few seconds to give us the pop-up for SQL Server installation selections. So we are installing basically SQL Server Service Pack 1 2012. So click on installations, and we need to install a new SQL Server standalone installations, so click on it. So it's doing some pre-request check. So everything is passed, click OK. So as this is a demo, we can use the evaluation version, so click next. I accept the license terms, click next. Now we can go ahead and click next, and it's checking for setup installation files. It's going to take few seconds here. So it's checking for support rules now. So everything is passed. We have a few warning related to security and firewall. So we need to make sure the firewall port is enabled. So go ahead, click next. Now we need to go for SQL Server feature installations. Leave the defaults. Click next. And on the feature selection, we need to select the database engine, reporting services, and management studio. So need to select the three components here and click next. So click next now, and we need to rename the, if you want to rename the instance, you can rename the SQL instance name. So I'm going to use the default one, which is MS SQL Server. Click next. So it's going to check the disk space. So we have passed, we have enough space, free space to install a SQL Server. So go ahead, click next now. It's going to check the server configurations now. Yeah, I'm going to use my Origin SCCM account, which is Origin SCCM admin. Going to copy it and put the password for this account and make it automatic. Same for REST services. We have a reporting services. So good to go. Click next. Now we need to add the current user here. So on this account, SCCM admin will get the access to log into SQL Server. So click next now. And on the reporting services, we are going to use the default option, which is install and configure. So click next. Now everything is done. We can go ahead and begin the installation. So I'm going to click on install to run the installation for the SQL Server 2012. So this installation for SQL Server is going to take like around 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm going to pause the recording here. Once the installation is done, we will resume from there, and we can go for the next step, which is SQL Server configurations. So I am pausing the recording for now. So now everything is done. We can go ahead and close this, and this also we can close installation center. Now we need to go and do the some memory setting in SQL Server. So SQL Server Management Studio we need to launch. So click connect. Now you can go to right button, click on server, and go to properties, and we have a memory. We need to fix the memory like 110 gig. Minimum and maximum we can set up to 1400, 14,000. Click OK. Now we are done with this, and we can go with the next step, which is install and configure WSUS on SCCM server. So I'm going to install WSUS role. So on SCCM server, go to server manager dashboard, click on manage and add role and features. Click next, and we can go and role based installations. And here is our server SCCM 2012 horizon.co. Click next, and the last is Windows Server Update Service. Select it, and it is going to give us some additional features which is required. So go ahead and add features. Click next. Here we have a feature space, WSUS. What is WSUS? Allow administrator to manage the downloads and install update on Microsoft website to local network. So go ahead, click next, and we are going to install a VID database and WSUS services. So click next. And here we need to provide the local path of WSUS folder. So I'm going to create one folder in my C drive. In a production, it's recommended to create a non-OS drive. So you can create on a C drive, E drive, whatever where you want. So go ahead, paste it. Click next, and we can run the installation now. So it's going to take less than 1 minute to get the installation for WSUS. Then we need to run the configurations. So while this is installing, we can go ahead and create a firewall setting for Windows, basically System Center Configuration Manager for Windows clients. So I'm going to log into my GPU's Active Directory server and GPU Group Policy Management Console, and here we can go here and domains. Going to create a GPU in my root folder, so call it like SCCM Firewall. So now we can go here. Okay, go and edit. We need to go to computer configurations, policies, Windows settings, security settings, and we have a Windows Firewall and advanced security. So go there. In inbound, we need to enable the basically file and print sharings, and allow to the connection. So it's allowed. We need to allow also WMI. So select the WMI, click next, allow for the connections, and we have allowed file and printing and WMI, and same need to create it on here for outbound. So file and printer sharing, we need to allow these connections, and same for WMI. So done and finished. So we have allowed file and printing and WMI for inbound and outbound both, and it's added to SCCM firewall policy. So go ahead, click close this. So we are done with this, and now we can go and back to WSUS installation. So launch post installation task, click OK. So now you can go ahead and close this. Here if you go, you can see post deployment configuration is running. If I go to task details, you can see it's running. It will take us some time, around 5 minutes, to get the post installation configuration done for WSUS. So we need to wait for some time here. So now the installation and post configuration task both is completed. We can go ahead and close this. Now we are on final step to run the installation for System Center Configuration Manager. So before this, we can check the firewall settings. So I'm going to run the GP update once to get the new firewall setting from GPU. So its computer policy is updated now. So rsop.msc we can run to check the policies coming or not on this machine. So just wait for a few seconds here. So now on computer configurations we can go to properties and you can see SSCM firewall policy is coming, which we have just configured from Active Directory Group Policy Management. So we are good to go, and I would recommend once to restart before going the final installation for SSCM server. So I'm just rebooting the server. So it will going to help us during some reboot pending with the machine. If we have any reboot pending on machine before SSCM server installations. So now we can log in finally to run the SSCM setup. So we are in, and I have mounted the installation media for System Center Config Manager 2012. So going to open it, and we can run the setup. So Microsoft Configuration Manager 2012 R2. So we can run the install. Click on install to run the installations. So click yes, I want to run the installations. So we can click next. Before you begin, we need to get some information like verify SQL Server which we have installed is available for config manager and supported. Identify the full qualified domain name for SQL Server and few other minimum site configuration requirement and these things. So we can go ahead, click next, and here we can see the available setup option. We have installed as configuration manager, central administration site, recovery site. So we are going to use this installation which is primary site in this demo. So click next, and I'm going to use this product in evaluation mode. So click next, I accept the license terms. Then we need to select all these agreement, license agreement. So click next. Now we need some download file for SSCM prerequest, so I'm going to download it. So I'm going to save in my C drive, let's call it SCCM prereq. Click OK, then we can go here, click next, and now you can see it's started downloading. So we can see here the performance of downloading. It's downloading this all the setup file which is prerequest for SSCM server. So it's downloading those files. So it will take some time here. We need to wait for till the time the download is complete, then we can go further. So I am pausing the recording here. Once the download is complete for all the setup file, we can go from there. So now I almost done downloading, and we can move further. So it's asking to select the available languages. So English is selected by default. Click next, and we need to select the client language as well as. So English is selected for client also. So click next. Now we need to define a site code. So I'm going to use 001 here and put the name or Zen HO head office and click next. And this is a primary standalone server, so I'm going to make it a standalone. So click next, and it's asking for the configuration manager. You can expand size later on also in a hierarchy. So it's good to know. Thank you. Want to continue? And here we have SQL Server information. So I am using the same machine as SQL Server also. If you have any another SQL instance which is running on the remote server, you need to provide the SQL Server name an instance name here, and the database name which you are want to create on SQL Server. So this is, and also you need to make sure your port number 4022 is open. So go ahead, click next. So it's asking for SQL Server database path and SQL Server log path. So we are good to go. Click next. And SMS provider main server, which is going to be installed. So click next, and we have option here. So you can set up the HTTPS client config communication for client. Also you can go ahead and select the on the each configure the machine for the each site's role. So we are going to use this method on each site server system role. So go ahead and click next, and here we have install management point on this machine and install the distribution point DP SCCM DP here. So everything is good. Click next, and we have a plan to join. So customer improvement plan. So don't want to join. This is a demo environment. So we are done here, which we have just selected in the wizard. So click next, and it will run the pre-request check for all the things which we have done in like our step by steps. So these things and everything, once everything is passed, we can go ahead and run the installation for the System Center Configuration Manager 2012 R2. So we need to wait for a few seconds here till the time it's checked for the pre-request. So now you can see everything is good. So we have one warning here: verify the site server permission to publish Active Directory uh, to Active Directory. So we have already done the delegation to this machine SCCM server in a system management container. So we know we have done this. So we can ignore this warning basically. So we can run the installation by clicking on begin installation. So now the installation will start. So it's going to take around 15 to 20 minutes to get the installation done for System Center Configuration Manager. After that we can verify the installation and we can go from for some post. So I am going to pause the recording for now. I will back once the installation is done so we can do the post configuration things. So I am pausing the recording for now. So now you can see it's completed, everything is installed successfully. So now we can go ahead and close this window, and we can launch configuration manager console. See here Microsoft System Center 2012 R2 configuration manager client console. So now we are in System Center Configuration Manager console. If I go to administrations, the first thing we need to do in a post configuration task for SCCM, we need to enable the discovery. So we need to enable the forest discovery like this. Automatically create Active Directory site boundary when they are discovered. So I'm going to run it on 1 day, and yes. And group discovery, we have group discovery also. So I'm going to run it full, call it like full domain. I need to select the domain, click OK, and polling schedule, we can make it like 5 hour and day. So it's going to schedule it, and we have Active Directory system discovery. We can disable like path for full horizon, click OK, and polling schedule, we can make it like 5 hours, and good to go. Click apply. Okay, user discovery we need to enable, so I'm going to enable in full domain. and we can set up like interval, so it's going to be a 5 hours. So you can see now, if I go to boundary, you can see Active Directory site has been already discovered, which is boundary name is Horizon HO. Now if I go to assets and computers, you can see the device has been discovered, which is SSM and Win2Control DC01, which is my Active Directory server. And if I go to here, it will take some time to discover the users also. Now you can see it's discovered all the users which is available in groups, which is available in AD. So this is basically a installation for configuration manager 2012, and this a few the configuring the boundary and your system center configuration manager. So we are done with this demo. So thank you for watching, and please contact us if you have any query, and thank you once again. Bye bye.